Come on. Cool.
This is a lady who was suffering from mental illness, and she was placed into an asylum. That's what they were called. They're not called asylums now, they're called mental health clinics. So she was placed in this asylum in England in 1860 or something, and there was a doctor there, Dr. Diamond, who had just started taking up photography and took a lot of photos of his patients, and this is one of them. And I've got a book of all his portraits, and the book is called Presumed Cured, but they weren't cured. You know, they used to do amazing things like put them in cold baths, you know, with all their clothes on. That would
We've
sort
seen
of,
it in films. It was really hard.
yeah,
The
yeah.
electroshocks.
Yeah, electroshock came sort of in the 1930s and 40s, 50s, and then lithium came in, and all the drugs came in the 1950s and 60s, and that's when they let all the mental health patients out of the asylums, the mental health clinics, whatever, and that was terrible because there was no setup for these people to go to, so they were homeless. And the families had to deal with this mental illness, and they didn't know what to do. It was just tragic. And also, there's a lot of psychiatry around that time called the anti-psychiatry movement, where they blamed the mother, which is it's terrible. There was a famous Dr. Lane who said, blamed the mother for the child's mental illness.
Yeah.
That was in the 1960s.
During the pregnancy,
I don't
know.
No. It was more to do with the upbringing.
Okay.
You know, they thought the mother did something to the child that made them go mad. You know,
what about the relatives? They usually say that if you have
genetics. Yeah. Well, in my family, we don't have any records, but who knows? It could have been hidden.
Okay.
You know, because it's a stigma. I mean, it's getting much better now, the way mentally ill people are treated, but there's still a lot of stigma about it.
Being sorry, that's psychotherapy and, talking.
Yeah.
Help.
No, not when you're mad. No.
Or Freud system.
No. There's a nice little paragraph that says, it's the worried well. It helps the worried well. Worried well are people like Woody Allen or other people who are rich. They've got a few problems and they go to talk therapy. You know, it doesn't work for mad people. It just doesn't. What works is ECT, electroshock therapy, the drugs, clozapine, which I mentioned before, and just
helps them be calm with this.
Clozapine's been pretty good for my sister.
Okay.
Yeah, very good.
Okay.
And they have to be checked all the time. So there is a system now in place where they do go regularly to be checked by doctors and nurses, etc. But this is 2014, and all these patients were released out of the hospitals in 1960, 1950. So it's taken, 50 years to get some sort of system going for these people.
So this was the inspiration.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I use the words programmed, branded. I've forgotten what that word. Maybe chained, because
you chose them.
I chose them. Yeah, because people with mental illness were put into these little boxes, and there's a manual called the DSM, Diagnostic and Statistical Manual. They're very famous, and all the psychiatrists put in all of the symptoms that that's people with schizophrenia or mental illness have. Called the DSM. I think it's DSM-5 now, it might be DSM-6. Well, I've read through that, it's very interesting. A lot of experts really don't understand what families go through. You know, it's really quite... So, you know, I just don't believe in experts anymore. I always question experts. Because they think they may be right. I mean, they're doing their best they can, but within the knowledge that they have, they don't know the other side.
So there's no cure?
No, at this stage.
For
there's no cure. Yeah, no. I mean, some people have periods where they can be normal. I think it's mainly people that have bipolar illness, you know, which is high depression and then high manic.
Like Virginia Woolf.
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
she committed suicide. And I think this actor that committed suicide last week, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams was?
Yeah.
I'm a knight on a special quest. A quest. And I need help.
You're out of your mind! Yeah!
We're gonna play some music for you right now. Here we go. Here's a little James Brown coming your way. Baby, help me, please.
Poetry, romance, love. These are what we stay alive for.
They have periods where they can work and be productive and be normal. And then they have periods when they're really depressed.
So what is for you the meaning of
the whole thing? Oh, it's just the way that
you see and you have lived.
Yeah, it just speaks to me because she's such a vulnerable woman and she's been put into the hands of an institution and then experts, and they just stamp her with this and try this and that, and nothing works. Nothing works. After many years something might work, but in my experience with my sister, nothing worked for 50 years. And something, this gossiping works a little bit. Otherwise you just have to live with it. And you learn a lot by living with it. You know, it's a very painful process, I can tell you.
Do you get used to it? No.
Yeah, you just know that, yeah, you do get used to it, you do.
These people can't live alone.
My sister can live on her own.
Oh.
She can look after herself and go shopping and go, you know, do everyday things, but she can't really have any decent relationships with anyone because she starts to get paranoid ideas. Like she came up a few months ago that a person she knew 30 or 40 years ago, she said, oh, I've seen her car outside my place, you know, she's after me. She wants to kill me or something. She's really watching me, you know, imaginary stuff. So that's the delusion.
Have you seen that in the film Beautiful Mind?
Yeah,
fantastic.
Was
it?
Yeah.
Was it real?
That's the first Hollywood film I've seen that treated the illness.
Okay.
Very truthful. It was fantastic. Because other films, they just are ignorant and they just show the stupid side of psychosis, like Psycho. That's ridiculous. That's another area of mental illness. Got nothing to do with schizophrenia.
The film showed us that he decided not to hear the voices or sing the other man. Can a person do that? You know, just
cut it out.
Yeah. Don't listen. Don't pay any attention to the voices.
No. The voices or delusions. They're
so
always coming. Always coming.
Loud and strong.
Yeah.
Just
you can't get rid of them unless you find a medication that stops it.
Do we know the cause? Do we actually know the cause?
Not really.
No,
they
not
say
really.
it's sometimes they say it's genetic, but I don't know. Who knows? It might just be society.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we do live in a mad world, don't we?
Yeah, of course. And we're not so far away
Yeah, exactly.
from the
Yeah,
situation.
it's a fine line.
It's
a fine line between
yeah.
sanity and insanity, isn't it?
Of course.
So, who knows? There might have been migration, because my parents came out from Italy,
Yep.
north of Italy. Might have been displacement of place. Who knows? Could have been the Second World War, that, you know, after the Second World War there was a lot of trauma around the place. Who knows? It's stuff you really can't trace.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So we just live with it.
You just have to learn to
accept
live
it.
with it and accept it.
Yeah, yeah. These people also are very creative in some.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't say
some, or
my
they
sister
have
is.
a specific talent in something.
some
you know.
do, some do, but it's not a general rule.
Oh.
No, it's not general.
Mm-hmm.
No, some do, like Van Gogh.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
very talented. And
Yeah.
I don't know what others.
He suffered from the same.
Yeah, I think he had. I don't think he had schizophrenia. Maybe he had manic bipolar.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe he had bipolar. Yeah, because he did commit suicide in the end.
Cut
Cut his ear off and all that. Yeah. Yeah, it was very tragic. So. Yeah.
So this probably, you know.
Yeah, it's symbolic.
Yeah.
Sort of symbolic in a way.
Does it make you feel any better, you know, with the situation you're living, or
Well, I always
expressing it on the canvas?
yeah, sort of, because then I can tell people, I can
Yeah,
educate
yeah.
people about what it's
Yeah.
like. There's another famous. Have you heard of F. Scott Fitzgerald, the writer?
Yeah, yeah.
His wife was schizophrenic.
Oh.
Zelda.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I've read all of the stuff on her, and that was really interesting. How's that?
Okay. Thank you.